6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. Thanks for joining us as always. Want to kick off the night with some fantastic news. Falsenineltd has been found alive inside the rubble after today's devastating earthquake that rocked Turkey and neighbouring nations. He reportedly has breathing difficulties and an injury to his right foot and has been transported to hospital. But that is absolute fantastic news that he's been found. You know, it's never nice hearing about these disasters, but when an ex-player is involved in one, it's great to hear that he's sort of safe and well. Obviously, going to have a lot of trauma and stuff to get through, but he's been found alive, which is absolutely amazing. They're still looking for others. I hope to find them all. Their whole team was there, I believe. So let's keep our fingers crossed for everyone else to make it out alive. Good evening, Gary.
Good evening.
Fantastic news about Atsu, isn't it?
Fantastic. Literally just 10 minutes ago.
So, same as myself, I've just literally rushed that thing together.
tell you what as well, put a shout out to the Macklins and all, because they did put it on that official website today. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Whereas it took Chelsea 7-8 hours to do it.
Seriously?
Seriously. And he used to play for them. But
ridiculous.
Good he's found, and good news.
Definitely. Even if there's any news from the docs listen to my chest. It's absolutely clear. So why I've got a cough, we still don't know. I've just got to see it out. She said it's a dry, tickly cough. People have had them for weeks. You just got to see how it goes. I was like, fantastic. But there we go. If anyone would like to become a member tonight, link is at the top of the chat. Remember, we've got Warren Barton's signed shirt. It's a classic shirt, this. It's all got the tags on it. It'll be worth a lot of money to whoever wins it, unless they want to keep it for themselves. And obviously, Mark, it's the reason why I put that up straight away. He was asking about it, and he says it's great news. Glad to see Atsu is okay. Evening Baz, I've just done that one. And R8 Baz and Gary. Right, I want to kick off tonight and put everything to bed of what's been said on Twitter, because it's doing my fucking head in. Great news regarding Atsu, it really is. Right, I was contacted by someone who had a club membership with Wembley. They pay 13 grand a year or something like that to have the privilege of having a season ticket with Wembley. He said he wanted between £500 and £600 per ticket, which is about 6 grand, to sell his table to Newcastle fans. I said, right, I'll get a hold of 12 people for you, which I did. And then I get all this crap going, I'm taking advantage of fans and scamming them. Never scammed anyone in my life. Gary, you know, I've got tickets for you. Yeah. I've had tickets for Lindsay. I've done tickets for other people, all at face value. If somebody else wants to sell their private possession for more money than what it's potentially worth, it's entirely up to them. That's not me taking advantage of them. I'm not getting a penny for it. I was just trying to get 12 people a dream of going to Wembley. Those 12 people are very pissed off right now as well, by the way. So I would hate to be, you know, that dickhead Sean Casey and this other twat who's dobbed them into Wembley, but it's one of those things. Now, I did a bit more digging to find out how much it is if you were going to buy a table of 12 at Wembley. And these are the prices. £5,670, £37,000, £11,910, £8,268. Cheapest one was the centre circle, which was £4,620. if you go onto the travel agent sites, £6,000 plus £600 booking fee. So if you total up, the guy wanted £550 per ticket, £15 booking fee, which is £565. It's about £6,145, I think it was. So who's actually been scammed or been ripped off or overpriced? Because nobody was. So all these people have done is killed the dream for 12 people being able to go to Wembley. Genuine Newcastle fans who wanted to go. So all these Newcastle fans who think they've done them a favour because they were getting scammed when they weren't, you've just ruined 12 people's dreams. And you are not Newcastle fans in my eyes. So I will continue to help people out with tickets. I've always said I will do that. My membership is open for when I can't go to games. So if someone wants to try and get a ticket, more than happy to help them out and also put them in touch with people who do sell tickets as well. So you can all fuck off. And that is the end of the matter. I hope some of them are listening because they probably will be because they're all dickheads. Mark says, all right, Barry and Gaz, we are, aren't we, Gary? Now that's out the way.
Well, we come off.
Jamie, back to work Wednesday. I'm at work on Saturday as well. Good evening, Baz. Gary Noel in the chat. Can Gary not get a t-shirt off his dad for a raffle? I would love a share given t-shirt. Good evening, Baz. Evening, Baz and Gan. I'll read Gary and all, evening all. Don't listen to them, mate. Mate, honestly, it blew up massively with an absolute biggest twat in this fan base. I mean, he calls himself a fan. He's never even been to a game. And he thinks he has the right privilege to go to Wembley above people who have been to games. It's just a nightmare. Is that guy you don't like spreading shit? Always, mate. Oi, Baz and Gary. Hi, Baz and Gary. How you all doing? We're doing good, Robert. You're not going to Wembley now, Baz? Good for you if that's the case. No, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest with you. If I can't go, so be it. But let's hope I can still get there in some shape or form. I've got my trains booked, so I might just go down anyway. But it's no skin off my back. I'll have the last laugh eventually. I always do. Right, let's have a look at some news. So the Jamaican talent visits St James's Park ahead of his Toon trial. Obviously, I don't know a lot about this guy, Gary. We have heard about it in the past, and it's finally happening. He's coming out with the same Jamaican academy as Bailey at Aston Villa. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, this guy's meant to be a massive talent. So this is a coup, isn't it, if we can sort it out?
I'd probably class this in the Grand Kowal bracket. Could have a hell of a player on my hand to see how he develops. And obviously, Dan Ashworth got his eye on this one and won again. And I know we're going to talk about like FFP at some point and all that.
Oh, yes.
But I think this is a massive way forward towards FFP by finding young talent and turning them into stars.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is why the times we've been in the shit, because Ashley's neglected with youth system. And just getting youngsters like this is just going to only make it better. And we need to keep doing it, going out there. I would literally make it a name every season to try and get 3 of them every year. 3 or 4 top young players and get them into the club, just like they've done.
I was on another channel, put a comment and got blocked by a tall figure skating dancer who's on the same show as Dinner Plate. Brilliant. Yeah, someone made it. I'm not even going to mention the channel because it's not even worth it, to be honest with you. But they did like a show on scammers. Just to let you know what a scammer actually is someone who sells a ticket and doesn't have a ticket and then does a runner. That's what a scammer is, guys. Not someone who sits here in front of the camera and puts everything at risk. I was literally helping 12 people get to Wembley who, like myself, are not going to get a ticket the normal way because I don't have a season ticket. I have a membership. I bought tickets, but there's no way it's getting to bracket 6, is it, Gary, really, with the demand of tickets. So I know I can't get the normal way.
I think I've just read the night there's 35,000 season ticket holders, and that's come from the club.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, they did the first round today, and there was still a lot of seats available, to be fair. But obviously, it all depends on the bracket you're in, isn't it?
yeah. There's, I think I saw something, and I think it was in the email from the club saying they had 35,000 season ticket holders. So I don't know what bracket number I'll get to, but I've got.
It's not getting to 6. It's not getting to members, is it?
Well, put it this way: I know somebody who I work with who's worried, and he's in 4.
Right. Wow. There you go.
So, there you go. I think you'll get one personally, but anything.
You won't get the seat that he potentially wants, though, does he?
Well, no, he's going to be in the gods probably.
Doesn't matter where you are, does it?
I'd sit in the roof, mate.
Yeah.
Sit in the roof. I'd sit next to bloody Ten Hag. But
brilliant. Absolutely love it. I mean, I would as well, to be fair. Before we go into more stuff, I'll just do the usual spiel and get it out of the way with. If you're not subscribed, please hit the button. It really helps us. We want to try and get to 10,000 as quick as we can. We're on our road to 7,000. It's an amazing journey, and we just enjoy talking about football and trying to make this a friendly place for all fans to come, and not just Newcastle fans, any fans to come and listen and join in. As long as you're respectful, we're respectful back. It's as simple as that. The link to become a member is there if you want to become a member. Like I said, Warren Barton signed shirt right here, ready to give away. The date has been set for it. The date has also been set on the 29th of March to do the Alan Shearer testimonial shirt. We really need to sell as many tickets as we can, because every ticket sold from now on, every single penny is going to charity. So the more money we raise, the better for the Alan Shearer Foundation, the NUFC Food Bank, and the Rob Burrows M&D. Newcastle Benfield are playing on Saturday. Get yourselves down there before the Newcastle game, which kicks off at 5:30. They've got a bar. You can watch the game in there. If you say Baz sent me, you get £1 off the ticket prices as well. So please consider it. Gaza might be there this weekend. We don't know. If you fancy anything like this, a lovely little stand with the picture on, a mug, a badge, a t-shirt, contact Liam or use one of the email addresses below to contact for us. And guess what, guys? They're back. We have 15 of them to sell. I know. £30 still, though. He's still keeping it down to that rock bottom price. That's including delivery. So if anyone wants a badge, crest, contact us via the normal ways, and we will get that sorted for you. Yeah, I can't believe it.
Can you imagine if the owners announced next season we're changing the crest?
That would be amazing, wouldn't it? There'd be no more. Right, let's get back into the chat before we go any further. Gary, a Wonder Kid, is Botman made him, and Gordon, a Wonder Kids, but cool made not go watch the Hearts Rangers game. If he had any talent, he would have shone at Rangers. He's far off talented. Well, we don't know yet, do we? I mean, you looked right at the World Cup.
He played in midfield.
Yeah.
He played in centre midfield that game, I think, and he's not centre midfield.
He's not a centre midfielder. He's a winger forward, isn't he? Like a forward winger, like an Almiron or a Gordon, isn't he?
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, give it, how old is he? 18. I'll tell you what, let's see what Eddie Howe does with him when he comes over.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got hope for him. I liked what I saw in the World Cup when he did his little cameos. I like what I saw when he played for Marionettes. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of it, but what I saw was good. He just needs to see if he can grow into the Premier League.
Xavi called him one of the best youngsters he'd seen because he tore Barcelona apart in a game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, exactly.
And I'll tell you what, I thought it was a funny move for him because Scotland is
a tough league, isn't it?
Tough league,
physical league,
right? It's a physical league. But in the game I watched him, he wasn't frightened to stick his foot in.
Good.
He was getting stuck in. So you've got to remember, he's 18. He's just come from spending his whole life in Australia playing football. So
yeah, exactly.
He's only there for experience. He's not there to set the world alight. And we'll get him back after a bit of experience. Eddie will have a look at him, and if he goes out on loan again, he goes out on loan. If he stays here, he stays here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think we're going to have a play on my hand.
I hope so. This is what we want Ashworth to do: find those gems and we polish them off. Rough diamonds and we polish them off, I should say. Yeah, come on, guys, hit the like button. That's massive for us as well. It really does help grow the channel, and I'd really appreciate it.
The comment before as well is, yeah, Botman and Gordon are top players, I think.
But they're older as well, though, aren't they?
But we've had to buy them. We've had to buy them for 30, 40 million, and we kind of keep doing that every season. So we're going to have to find, we're going to have to unearth some talent, because there's not been enough.
Like a Castore and a McAllister, something like that. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the fact that Sean Longstaff is number one in the last 10, 15 years, and that's nothing against Longstaff, because he's having a cracking season, but he has been number one.
Yeah.
We need more and better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the FA are never going to do it. It's all commercial. It's all money. Like I say, a lot of those season ticket holders get a lot of tickets, don't they? Then there's the family members, the teams, the FA get loads of. It's a farce. Not name the channel, but sorry, being told in their comment section is not telling the full story regarding the ticket issue you just mentioned. Exactly. They never do. They just do it to make it look like that something's going on and something's bad. It's crazy.
I'll tell you, one of the main problems you're going to have is soon you're going to get tickets online going for £400 because the corporate people who
don't want to go,
but have got tickets because they know somebody in the FE or whatever it is, and they're selling the tickets for £500 in the gods.
Exactly. Of course they are. There was someone online said they've got a ticket straight away, and they were saying, "I'll take offers up to £900."
I don't. You know what it is? It's a cup. It's a cup final, right? Put 5,000 tickets to one side and give the rest to the two sets of fans on each side. Just honestly, fair enough if it's an England game or something, but not give it to Man United and Newcastle fans. Go half and half and just put 5,000 over there.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
We've got 42,000 tickets each or whatever it is. 43, something like that. Yeah. But pretty stupid.
Ryan says, Baswell, I think you're charging don't force super chats on viewers when you're not above 50k views. You're a solid guy who answers questions. Thanks, Ryan. Like I say, donation button is available. It's completely up to you if you want to use it. If you don't, you don't. It's one of those things. We're happy to sit here and talk to all fans because that's the idea of the channel. And like we say, the running costs are taken out of anything that's donated. Some of it goes to charity as well. We did £25 in January. We're doing £25 again this month to Rob Burrows M&D charity when we get the money. And we put monies into prizes as well. It's not cheap. We make very little from the channel. I do, I should say, because it is my channel. But it helps to pay the electricity bills and stuff like that. So I get a takeaway on a weekend. Yeah, we're not here to make a lot of money. We're here to give yous something to enjoy. That's the idea of it. No tickets, no problem. Go to Manchester with all your mates and watch the game in a pub up there and sing your heart out. I like it. It's just not the same when you're not flogging badges. But I know, I can't believe the badges are back. I was shocked when he messaged me. If anyone thinks the league, by the way, the badges, I don't make a penny off them either. I do them because I'm a nice guy. Steve gets all the money. It's Steve's little side thing. Steve's a nice guy, so I help him out. If anybody thinks the League Cup is a rip-off for tickets, you get allocated 7 or 8k less for an FA Cup. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did. It's even worse, honestly.
Can you imagine what it's going to be like and how much people are going to charge for tickets and stuff like that? Jesus.
It's shocking. It's shocking because you've got loads of people in the stadium who are not really interested in being there. It's just, honestly, look, if I was, just say it was Man United and Southampton in the final, and I had a ticket, I would just give it to a Man United or Southampton fan, face value, because I'm not interested. But
exactly.
It's ridiculous how they keep dishing tickets out the way they do for the finals. Give it to the fans.
Well, the members one it's a difficult one because they pay £13,000 a year to be a members holder for that. Do you know that little section in the middle of Wembley? Yeah. They pay a lot of money to be a member there. But if they don't want to go, they apparently, I didn't know this, but Wembley Club actually offer them a reselling site for them to sell their tickets on. But this guy wanted Newcastle fans to take tickets. He didn't want Man United fans, you see. He wanted us to go and he wanted to give them a chance. But now it's all out the water and it could be a Man United fan sitting at that table instead of Newcastle fans, all because of one dickhead, which is a shame. And Robert, I'm so sorry to hear that, mate. You've got to be so careful these days. Make sure they've got tickets before you buy them. You are taking a risk if you don't. Please don't get caught out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wonder kids out there, but we ain't signing them because Chelsea are taking 7 of them for the thing I owe in the summer. You got to. Remember, we mentioned him because of a fan who follows the show and also follows my Twitter page, and he told me about this kid, and he said, check him out. And when we did, we were, like, Jesus Christ, this kid is good.
I'll tell you what, Chelsea will seriously be looking now at what's happening to Man City and thinking, I can see their spending dropping in the next few windows now.
It has to, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it has to, because they're gonna be they're the next one to be looked at.
I mean, they think they're doing it right because they're doing it over the 8 years and all that sort of stuff. So we'll see, though. And 350,000 for a player who's been through a World Cup and who tore Barcelona apart. It's not a bad risk, is it, really, when you think about it?
I mean, he could turn in to a good player, right? And then we make £4 million off him. It's a profit.
I didn't know about this. It wasn't director of football who found Brighton, James. The guy who did it is at Chelsea with Potter now. Been proven he's set up the pathway for them to get into the team. I'm not sure how it all works, to be honest with you, but Ashworth definitely knows what he's doing. So, and if Ashworth set up the pathway, I'm sure he's going to get the right scouts around him to find the players to make that pathway work like it did for Brighton. There's no way we would have brought him on without knowing that. If
you notice, all the youngsters that have been bought by Chelsea or anybody like we have been linked with them before. They have happened. So I think you hit the nail on the head a few weeks ago. When we're getting linked with a youngster, the rest of the clubs are looking.
Yeah, straight away they're watching what we're doing.
They're watching. So when we've interested in one, we need to go out, buy them, keep it under the rate, like keep them out the press if we can.
Yeah.
But this is going to happen. But
one of those
Ashworth knows what he's doing.
Of course he does. Davey, I think you've upgraded, Davey, because I know you remember us. I'm sure you are. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. It turns out Brighton had director of football below sporting director. Ashworth, he found the talent for Brighton is now Chelsea's pumping money at best wonder kids. I mean, the wonder kids they're buying, though. I mean, come on, they're not exactly gems, or they're costing 100 million and 40 million and 50 million and all this sort of stuff. So it's a little bit different to what we're looking for. We could do you know what it is? I know we've got people up there who are looking, but we could do a lot worse than get Michael Edwards in. Honestly, at the minute he's taking a break from football, but go to Michael Edwards, pay him, get him in. Yeah, definitely.
He was no coincidence to me. Liverpool on the slide a bit, and he left. When was it? 6-7 months ago.
Something like that,
yeah. And he got the Salahs and Jotas and everybody like this morning. He got them in on good deals, and tell you what, we do a lot worse.
Those badges like bad pennies, they always turn up. Mark, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, our prize fund is £40. I'm happy to give you £40 for it. Getting Shea Given to sign it, I don't know how to do that, but I can look into it. I did get Shearer to sign the top, so I might be able to get Shea to do it as well. You never know. And I'm sure Gary might have some numbers in his phone. Oh man, you say there's channels for football fans, but things first, they have to be a Newcastle fan first. It's a nice one to be a Newcastle fan, but we've got Stephen, who's an Everton fan, who comes in and joins in. It's nice to have other fans come in as well and have that, as long as they're respectful and they have a proper football conversation. There's no harm in that. Apparently we are after him. We tried to sign him last month. He's everywhere. We were after him big time in the summer. Interesting. These companies pay millions to sponsor these tournaments. They want their pound of flesh. If these clubs and players took less money, be more tickets to go around. Do you know what it is? He's right. Apparently Chelsea are meant to be looking to sign Osherman, and no way are they getting him as well after what they've just been spending. No,
No.
can't happen.
Not after what's happening today. Chelsea are going to be very careful. You know what Chelsea need to do? They need to get some players out the door first before they start signing anymore.
Right. Interesting. Was a member a couple of channels to stop their membership and transfer to yours. Thanks, Davey. I really appreciate that. Honestly, I do. Chelsea signed a real talent, and their fair warned the young striker from Belgium is something else. Fofana. I heard that name, and obviously I know there's other Fofanas, but I've heard about this lad as well. It's going to be interesting. Who was going to be the new kit sponsor? Oh, we're going to come to that, I promise you. Barrett's buyout clause, that's a problem. True. But they didn't have to pay it. They didn't have to go out and spend that, 120 million on Enzo Fernandez?
Yeah.
It was 120 million euros.
100, yeah, it came to about 105, 107 million.
That's just insane amount of money for someone that cost them 10 million.
Well, I've only watched them once.
Yep.
It's like watching Bruno on the pitch, but no, it's good.
Right. Oh, God.
Now, right, I'm not going off one game, but he does what Bruno does. But is he £70 million less than Bruno? I mean, more than Bruno, sorry. We'll soon see, but I don't think so.
But sometimes, yes, sometimes no with agents. They like to give things away, don't they? However, bad, surely Gary can ask his dad to sign it. Not all about Newcastle fans on here. Look at Gary, he's a Mac. My guys is the same job as director of football, mate. We have to sack down that Swift, mate. You can only have one. You could come under a different.
Come under a different thing.
Yeah,
honestly, you can. You can have as many as you want in the staff bit.
I love it.
It's Michael Edwards' contacts more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. My cat hits my tune badge on the top of the cupboard every time she jumps up. She's trying to make it spin. Brilliant. Go on, guys, hit that thumbs up and subscribe button if you don't mind. We ain't got a new sponsor from what I saw. Castore won't budge, mate. We'll have a new front shirt sponsor, but UNLLSS Newcastle can prove they're fit for purpose and broke part of their deal. This is what the information kind of, we're going to get to it, guys. We're going to get to it. We'll be babbling on loads, I promise, but we're going to get there. But I have to talk about this. Obviously, Man City charged by Premier League for breaching financial rules. 100 charges. 100. How do you make 100 charges disappear? They did fight a charge a while ago, which was from Europe, though, not from, so it's UEFA rules, not FA rules. So I'm not too sure. It's all about FFP and spending. Apparently paying Mancini double his wage than what they were actually saying he was getting paid. There's loads of stuff in there. Now, apparently this has already been found and they are guilty of it. So surely the hammer's got to come down on them. It happened to Juventus. It happened to Rangers. This can't just be a slap on the wrist, can it, Gary? This has got, if they're going to make these rules, massive rules, and stop the likes of us spending and just getting away with it, they've got to come hard on Chelsea, on Man City, sorry.
First off, I've got nothing against Man City.
No,
right?
I just
not one. I've got nothing against them, right? But 100 breaches. I mean, you know what the Premier League have done here is, if it comes out now that they get a fine and nothing else, that means Newcastle, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal are just going to go out and go, oh, well, they got away with it. We'll just do this.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll only get 5 breaches and not 100.
Exactly.
Now, they've seriously got to do something, because if they don't, like what I've just said, at this moment, I've got no idea where it's going to go. Whether it's going to be relegation, points deduction. I'm laughing at some Man United fans on Twitter the day saying, get rid of points for them, so it's us and Arsenal. It's not going to happen that quick.
No, it'll definitely be next season or the season after, won't it? That's what we're unfortunately looking at.
This is going to take a long time to sort out.
I mean, it took 10 years just to get to this point, as Mark rightly points out. And I think it's because they were getting all their ducks in a row because they know how good the Man City legal team is. So they wanted to make sure they had rock solid, unequivocal, cannot argue evidence.
there's something I've noticed about Man City. I think I've said it on the show. They're very good at getting players for a decent amount, some of them. And I'm going to use Alvarez as an example. They paid 13 million for Alvarez. Yeah. According to, I remember when he signed in Argentina, they were calling him one of the best youngsters they've seen in the country for a long time.
Yeah.
And Man City got him for 13 million. 6 months later, he went on to win the World Cup with Argentina. Had a cracking tournament, scored goals, assisted Messi. But he cost £13 million.
Yeah.
But he's one of the best talents to come out of Argentina, and you've seen the inflated prices going around at the minute, even for look Anthony Gordon, for example, not playing well, 40 million, 45 million. I think what they've been doing as well is they've been basically buying players for Alvarez 30 million, but telling the other club we're gonna give you 30, 40, but we want to keep it cush that we're gonna buy him for 13. And keep it out. And I think they've been doing that as well. And I think
it's money laundering, isn't it, really, when you think about it?
It is. And I think they've found out big. I think obviously they've been done big to. But there's a few players they've just got. I mean, look at it. I think Perron had a release clause, didn't he?
Yeah.
But they got him for 8 million. And I tell you what. Well, put it this way, if this was Newcastle, I'd be bloody worried.
I'd rather have a deal with Man City. So
yeah.
It could be the same as the Red Bulls, couldn't it, with that transfer that they did as well, where it's massively undervalued.
I'm trying to think on the top of my head, I've just said loads of times, Man City have got some really good deals for young players. And yeah, maybe it's because they've got connections. Haven't the owners got like, I don't know, they've got 9 other clubs in Europe or something. Or I just think when I heard it this morning, I thought I would hate this to be Newcastle, man. Because you literally don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Man City could be in League 2 for all we know in the next 2 years too. And before you know it,
if they don't get a 15-point deduction or something like that, Newcastle will just go, well, we can maybe get away with 5.
Yeah,
we'll just use this as an example that you're only going to get 5-point deduction. If we only break the rules a few times, we'll just get a fine. So let's just go out and spend what we want.
Exactly. And we're not the only one. Arsenal will do it.
Oh, Arsenal will do it as well, definitely, yeah.
Man United,
Chelsea already are, aren't they, really?
And just say Man United get taken over in 2 months' time. Then your owners are going to want to spend money. And if Man City get away with it, they're just going to say, well, they did it. And Barcelona and Real Madrid will get involved. They'll go, whoa, hold on. Yes, Juventus are going to get involved and saying, right, they're getting away with it, but we're not. And you know what it is? And it's no coincidence to me, the regulator's coming soon. And this is coming. I mean, I'm sure there was something happening this week involving the regulator with the government or something. I can't remember, but sometime this week. But that's just popped out as well today. And Man City saying they knew nothing about it.
I didn't see that about Jamie Redknapp and Shea agreed, but I see their points. It's nice that, you know, Gordon is going to be a good player. I mean, he should have already had an assist already, shouldn't he? Because let's face it, Wilson should have really scored. But Gordon is going to be our next Bellamy or Dyer, like kind of player. He's got a bit about him. He's got loads of pace. You can see he's got an eye for a pass. I promise you, he is going to be worth that price tag.
Millions. Me and you have built him up for weeks, and we did when we were first linked with him. And I think he's going to be a fan favourite. And just because he wasn't playing well at Everton, right, fine. Everton at the weekend, new manager comes in, and Arna has one of his best games for them. And I'm sure if Gordon had been on the pitch, he probably would have tore Arsenal apart. Yeah. So it's funny what a manager can do.
That's brilliant. Let's hope the lads from Man City get a 400-point deduction, and I've got nothing against them, but it was something I want 800 points.
I did laugh at something, mate. Somebody, Man City fan, put on. I think it was a Man City fan. He says, if we get a 15-point deduction, we're still above Liverpool.
Yeah. Let's all laugh at them.
Funny.
Yeah, like I say, like you said, Gary Andrews also saying it'll open the floodgates for other clubs if they don't come hard down on Man City. So
they've got to come hard on. They've opened it now by charging them, and they've got to do something about it.
Yeah,
definitely. If they don't, they look stupid, and the rest are just going to go, let's take full advantage of this.
And I mean, we have kept within the rules as well. In the Saudi Arabian, they don't want to do anything because obviously this whole takeover was in the public eye. There was a lot of people, unhappy with it. I mean, personally, I think it's been great for their country that they've done this. They've also hosted loads of other sporting events. Things seem to be getting better from what we can see looking inwards, and I don't know a lot about it, but they're not going to go out and break the rules. But they will do if Man City don't get punished because they'll think,
Man City don't get punished. Well, like I said, we'll just do 5, 6, 7. They've done 100 and got away with it.
Exactly. Newcastle not been mentioned as we have not broke any rules. Good business like that. Exactly.
We've hired lawyers as well. We've hired financial experts 5, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
They literally got everything running like clockwork at the minute. And but most clubs will be like that. I mean, you cannot say that. I know people go on about Klopp spending a fortune, but you cannot say Liverpool have went out and broke FFP either.
No, they haven't. No,
they haven't. They certainly haven't. And
they haven't.
There's only a few clubs that have done it. Now, I reckon PSG might be the next one that they're going to look at, and Chelsea are going to have to be careful. But I don't know. Bowley seems to be giving long contracts out because he's got a sneaky plan by the look of it. But
what's this one? Here's my question for you too. Is the players in our club journeymen like City had to build up the club to get better players on the future when we're on the Champions League? So obviously we're talking about the likes of who was that player that came in for City that thought he was signing for Man United? Robinho. Then there was Cornu, wasn't there? They did spend a lot of money on shit.
Adebayo.
Stephen Ireland was signed from Villa, wasn't he?
Santa Cruz, they bought.
Santa Cruz from Blackburn because he was on fire. They literally bought everyone who was, at the time, sort of doing well at their club to try and get them further up. We've jumped 2 years ahead of that, though. So we don't actually have to do that. So you can sort of class our team as journeymen now. I mean, the likes of Dan Burn being absolutely excellent, but he's not really a top 4 defender, is he? Let's face it. I mean, he's been amazing because he's a Geordie as well. He's obviously putting more into it. And I had this argument with people online that we need a better left back, and you agree, and a lot of other people agree we need a more attacking left back. The likes of Almiron, fantastic this season, but is he really a top 4 player? Potentially not. But he's scored goals in that purple period like he is a top 4 player. If we go through our team very quickly, Pope, Botman, Trippier, Joe Linton for me, Bruno, and Isak and Gordon, 7 are top 4. The rest of them are above average. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. It's too early for Ashby.
Yeah, far too early.
But yeah, I agree with that. I think them 7 could play Champions League football.
Yeah. I mean, the other guys could do a great job, but they're not going to be consistently great, I don't think. And it's a bit harsh on Shaw because Shaw's looked brilliant, but if he was that good of a defender, he would have been at a top 4 club earlier in his career, wouldn't he?
But it just shows you how quick it can change as well, because 2 years ago, Joe Linton was never a Champions League player. So it just shows you how quick it can change.
I mean, could be potentially, but I still think there's still a little bit of consistency for assists and goal-wise maybe missing from his game.
I think when you look at years ago when we were in the Champions League, we had Given, Shearer, Bellamy, Woodgate, Speed. They were all Champions League players. And we had Andy Griffin, who scored against Juventus, who you wouldn't class as
exactly. But you do get those players that fit in around, don't you?
Squad fit in around them. So I would say we're probably, back in the day, probably had the same 7 or 8 Champions League players in our starting 11, and 3 who weren't quite up there. So I think it's pretty similar.
Just very quickly, Steve, he has been found. He's been found alive, which is great news. There was, oh man, don't do that to me. There it is. Ian, can you drop me a private message, mate? Because I'll forget if you're just asking here, and I'll also need to send the information on to Steve. Well, let's hope they don't sign Madison, Diaby, Alvarez, and Osman in the summer. I would love to sign.
And then Man City will be signing money in the summer.
No, definitely not.
Definitely.
PSG are never going to get done. The French government don't care. Yeah, well, it's different for them, innit, I suppose. But the European UEFA should be doing PSG, but they won't because their owner is part of the bloody frigging bench or whatever he is. We are on an epic journey. I love it. Yeah, but I saw YouTube videos showing that we are actually doing the same blueprint as City. Making our name to get a brand to make a better squad year after year, and made sense. It does make sense. The thing that we're doing though is we don't have to buy those journeymen now though, because we've literally propelled ourselves much higher than what Man City did when they were first taken over. They stuck around mid-table for 2 years, didn't they?
I think it took 2 or 3 years for Aguero to come in, right?
Yeah.
And that's when they started. That's when they started buying the main stars. Robinho was a funny one because
we thought he was going to Man United, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a talented player, but I don't know. There's just he wasn't a household name. And then, like you said, the ball. I think wasn't Wilfred Boney another one. The ball.
Yes.
And, yeah. And it took 3 years or something for Aguero, De Bruyne, them type of players to come in. I can't remember when Vincent Kompany come in, because
he was there for a while though, wasn't he?
Yeah. So
he was Man. I thought he was Villa for some reason. I don't know where I got that from, but there we go. Yes, Dan Burn is part of the best defence in the Premier League. I agree with that, but do you really see him as the best attacking left back in the league? He's not even close.
I think
can't cross a ball. Every time the ball gets played back to him in an attacking sense, it slows down. I love Dan Bird. Absolutely love him. He's better at centre-back. He's filled in at left-back. We need a proper attacking left-back. Look at Man City. Look at Arsenal. I would say look at Chelsea, but no. Look at Liverpool with when he's the last few seasons with Robinson. They have proper left-backs who can get up and down the flank, and we really are missing that. I don't know about the development. I have heard that it's that the government are trying to get him, or Chikarama, whatever you call her.
Yeah,
you know who I mean. Yeah, she's trying to make sure that no government money goes into the development, and that gives Newcastle a chance to hopefully buy it back, and then we could build on St James's Park and make it bigger. Fingers crossed.
I'll tell you what, if she is getting involved, she's done that a few times, I remember going to government about the takeover, saying it was like a disgrace the way the Premiership were treating it. Honestly,
yeah, exactly.
So she will be going like help her let that make sure we get that, if that's what she's doing.
I agree. Willock's going to be a vital squad player, maybe first team player as well. I do like Willock a lot. I defend him all the time. I'm just talking about top four. Would he walk into an Arsenal side now or a Man City side? I don't think he would. So
I'll tell you what I'll say about us at the minute, because I feel, and I'm not having a go at all, right? We have got the best defence in the league, right? But we've drawn 10 games for a reason, and it's because we're defensive win games where our attackers have failed at times to win with the games. And I said if we had an Alan Shearer on the pitch right now, we would have more points easily. We might even be going for the title. So I'm not having to go at the defence at all. But in the future, we need to get Dan Burn out the left back. Whether he plays centre back with Botman, I'm fine with that. We need to get him away from left back and get an attack-minded full back into the club.
Yeah, I agree. Your company Silver Aguero, I think, was 6 years after takeover, then started the challenge. There we go. And we're already in the top four, potentially going to finish in the top six. There we go. if you don't mind, guys, the thumbs up button would be amazing. It doesn't cost anything, and it really helps us to push this channel bigger. So we really appreciate it if you hit it. Company came before the money, came from Hamburg. The money was there when company came. The difference between us and the top sides is they use their fullbacks to attack, so their front three can cut in as free strikers, and we can't. We don't do that because we can't do that because we don't really have the pace.
No.
And everything goes down our right-hand side at the moment, and people are starting to figure that out. Apparently, the construction of the offices in front of James Park has been put on hold. We could buy back and maybe easily extend the ground. Yeah, I now have heard that. I remember it now, and I hope that can happen. I'm sure we said this months ago that they should try and buy it back straight away. We play fast, high press, trying to get the opposition to play the ball over the top, where Burn, Botman and Shaw can fire it straight back at them. That's why Eddie likes three giants at the back. I agree. It has worked solidly in the way that works. But when we're asked to go and attack teams at St James's Park, when they're sitting back, like Bournemouth did, Palace did, Leeds did, Fulham did to an extent when they were here. Who we just played? West Ham did the same sort of thing. This is when you need an attacking left back who will get past ASM, open up more space, take a risk, but he also has the pace to get back where Dan Burn doesn't.
And this is nothing against Dan, but
it's nothing against him at all. No.
If you tell me that for the next 2 years, your three centre backs are going to be Dan Burn, Botman, and Shaw, I'll quite happily take that. Yeah. Quite happy.
I'd happily play a 3-5-2 with them three at the back.
I would trust them three.
Yeah.
And Dan Burn has fitted in fantastically at left back, right? But even Dan Burn will admit, I know he scored against Leicester, but even Dan Burn will admit he's not the greatest going forward with his using blistering pace and that. Who could add? We need an Enrique type.
Yeah.
Back in his prime, when you had Gutierrez and Enrique on that wing, them two used
they were brilliant, weren't they?
Mayhem for teams, especially at St James's Park. The amount of times Enrique put crosses in was ridiculous.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, well, there we are. So maybe he did go before the money, but he was there for a long time, wasn't he? Show was shared everywhere. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. We're top two now. That's why we're over the moon getting a point from us. Exactly. I mean, West Ham last season, we were up there and we were down. It's
West Ham's fans were delighted with the point of the weekend.
Yeah.
That shows you how far we've come.
He did sell the land to a family and it completely screwed us, and we thought that's it, we're never going to be able to expand St James's Park, so hopefully we can buy it back. However, Dan Aloni's just bought his suit for the final. The issue of Newcastle is the middle three and the front three. It's a quality Miggy is good for now, but to get that top four you need that Kane-esque, that Son Rashford type that's proven to close. But I'm hoping we've got that in Isak. I really do.
He's right in a way, right?
No, of course he is.
Apart from Bruno, right, we have got good attackers. I'm hoping Isaac is that player, and I think he is, right? But I get where he's coming from because we haven't got that. Well, put that match winner out and win something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree. Where Maddison comes in with a free kick or an effort from 30 yards, we've got nobody who's able to have the talent. Maybe Gordon might have it in his locker, Isak might have it in his locker, but I don't see anyone who's got like a Rob Air hit.
No, that's what I was just.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
There's no Rob Air in that team, right? I remember a few years ago, I went to Derby away. We were 2-0 down with 15 minutes to go. We weren't in the game. Shearer went off injured. And Rob Air hit a free kick from nothing in the 78th minute. And we won the game 3-2.
Yeah.
And that's what we haven't got. We haven't got that, just somebody who can create something out of absolutely nothing to
pull you back into a game, like a Shearer volley against Everton.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
It's I mean, when you look at, a prime example is Aguero when he won the title for Man City. Not many players could have done what he done. They would have panicked. He was the calmest player in the stadium.
Yeah.
Calmest person in the stadium, sorry. And we're just missing that stop. But I tell you what, that store coming in the next couple of years.
I love it. Tony, thank you so much for the 449 super sticker. It's so kind of you, pal. If anyone else would like to donate, $signs there. It's up to you guys. Is he? There you go. He's 29 though, isn't he? So it's the age thing. But if he's free, he might be worth a risk for a couple of years. You know, talking about those players who come in, who are journeymen, just to get us to the, you know, the Champions League sort of thing. So there we go. Madison's the difference between, yes, he is, between drawing and winning games. I agree. Admiral. If Newcastle truly want a top left back, Alphonso Davies, Bayern Munich, Martinez from Inter, Barry is the real deal. There are top left backs out there. You know, you've got to spend a lot of money to get one, and we should.
Davies would cost you an absolute fortune. Well, I think he would anyway. He's, I'm only about 21, and
I don't agree with that, because you've still got Botman, you've still got Pope to catch the ball, you've still got Shaw, and then you've still got Joe Linton, and you've still got the height from the midfield. So just because Dan Burn drops out doesn't mean you're losing that aerial presence.
The thing is,
still there.
Because I'm not a believer this, like, you need a right foot and a left footer.
No, either am I.
Dan Burn and Botman at centre back. I'll be quite happy with that. Honestly, I would have no issue with that. And that's not anything against Shaw either.
Yeah. And then this one as well, Bruno playing further up sort of becomes our match winner, I guess. I mean, Bruno could hit the ball, I suppose. He's done it a few times from outside the box, but we don't see it enough. He likes those cute passes, doesn't he, and stuff like that. So,
I'm hoping it's Isaac. And I think, you know what it is? I think Isaac's a cracking player. He's just been unlucky.
Yeah, he has.
And I reckon Isaac's going to be one of those. He's going to be like Salah, De Bruyne. First season syndrome, do I read? And then next season, you'll kick right on.
Yeah, definitely. Right, next talking point very quickly. So it sort of backs up the whole thing. So in the last 47 days, Newcastle have played 11 games on an average of 4.27 days. In the next 47 days, we'll play 6 times on an average of 7.83. With a small squad, the extra recovery coaching between games will be a massive lift in performances. And I agree with this. I think the reason why we're drawing a lot of games is because we haven't been able to do all that work that Eddie does, potentially. And the recovery time is less. So when we get this cup final out the way, we're literally playing one game every week. So surely performances are going to improve because of that.
Well, with the fitness that he's got and that. I think you can look at it 2 ways, because there's a reason why the best teams are at the top, and they play 3 games in a week.
They have a big squad, though.
Yeah, they have big squads, exactly, and we haven't got that. But I mean, it can only benefit, can't it? I mean, I don't think it would make any difference on cup final day, but the fact that Man United are playing 9 games, or 8, whatever it is now, they play 9 games to the final and we play 3. I mean, that's a lot of games extra compared to what we're playing.
Exactly.
2 of them are against Leeds as well. And, well, Leeds are going to kick them all over for 2 games on because it's their big game. So,
I would love another Robert. Just someone who, I mean, those 2 goals against Spurs were just phenomenal. It's nice to see Blades on a break. I didn't realise you were at work this late, mate, to be honest with you, but there we go. Right now, it's the information you've all been waiting for. Who's going to be our next kit maker? So Under Armour have obviously been mentioned. Adidas have been mentioned. Nike have been mentioned. This is the information I've been given. A bit of interesting information for you in regards to sponsors. The club have a meeting at the end of April with Adidas directors to come up with a plan for taking over the stripes for when they get rid of Castore. We know the club are monitoring the situation closely and already know they are struggling to keep up with demand. This might help with us leaving on an early settlement clause. Now, what I read from that first paragraph, there's more to come, is everyone, if you've got the money, keep buying loads of shit from Newcastle. Because the more they fail, the more we've got a better chance of getting rid of them. But buy stuff that you like as well, though. We already know they've held talks with other kit makers, the likes of Nike and Under Armour, being in the list. However, PIF are believed to favour a partnership with Adidas. Sponsors for 2023-24 season are already in talks with the club. Heard there's one about naming rights for the stadium being looked at as well to try and push FFP and bank records in the club come new financial year. Heard that there's a lot going in regards of possible tours sponsored by huge companies for the summer, as well as this will help put money in the pockets. Loads of this coming from journalists, those who could be just paper talk, but interesting to say the least. So that's how the information stands. There's a few things in there. Adidas are obviously Saudi Arabia's sponsor for the Saudi Arabian national team. I think Adidas will be our sponsor, and I am buzzing with that because they're just going to bring out all the old retro kits. We're all going to go nuts for it, and that shoots FFP up even further. The other thing as well, and this is something we mentioned a long time ago, and I don't understand why we haven't done it yet. Play one game in Saudi Arabia for a prize fund of £50 million for the winner. £45 million for the team that comes second. Doesn't matter what the score is. I don't think anyone can actually stop that from happening because it's a sponsored tour. So you can set the price and the sponsors set the price. I don't think UEFA or FIFA can do anything about it, can they? Or the FA. It's just a thought.
It's a thought. I mean, I don't think there's any rule against it, is there?
Exactly. Could throw the match to Newcastle win it as well.
As on like Nike or Adidas, I mean, I'm one of these that doesn't care as long as there's one of, honestly.
Yeah.
I get with the Adidas thing with the retro shirt and what it did in the 90s, it was great. Castore haven't made bad shirts. I quite like the design of them.
I do.
But
It's just
a shocking company.
Exactly. The quality of them have been terrible at times.
Shocking.
The Wolves with the badge
Yeah.
upside down. Someone receiving a Rangers top when he ordered a Newcastle top.
Yeah. What was the best one? The Wolves badge being upside down. They're run by Castore.
Exactly.
And the fact that people have been getting emails saying, we can't fulfill your order, but we've took your money.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what it is? I'm telling you now, Nike and Adidas will want Newcastle because they'll make an absolute fortune of shirt sales. It'll be any of them. Any one of them will want it. And the sooner we get rid of Castore, the better, honestly.
This is interesting. Jake obviously asked me to check my messages out. So, hey, Baz, went to a sports store today to get a ball, and I took some pictures to show you what Nike is like here in the States. There's only one section of Adidas for men's, and they give the rest front and back to Nike. It's the same for women's as well. And there were sections for other brands like Under Armour too, but not the scale of Nike. So Nike's obviously massive in America. On top of that, Nike is the outfitter for 3 of the 4 major sports leagues, as well as the major college where I live, Ohio State. So they give them 3 to 4 more sections in the store. I didn't get a picture of the soccer section, but they put all the Nike gear and clothing front and center. I mean, if we're going to break America, I mean, Nike's all over the place, and they've got one stand for Adidas, which is the one at the front. So Darren Eels will come into that factor, I suppose.
It's very similar when you go into Sports Direct as well, because Nike's at the front there as well.
So that's interesting, isn't it? It is interesting, but Adidas for me just has that. I know everyone keeps on saying it, but the old strips, you know, that's going to bring a lot of money back in.
Maybe we need to look further ahead though, and I'd take any of them, honestly. I'd
take Nike or Adidas, to be fair.
I'd take absolutely any of them just to get rid of these lot, honestly.
Newcastle at the Adidas Stadium sounds good. Adidas would be more the kit maker than the actual stadium sponsor. I think that'd be Aramco or Saudi Airway or something like that, won't it, Gary?
I've got a feeling that'd be Saudi.
Yeah.
Saudi Airlines, something like that. I cannot.
We do.
Isn't it true that isn't that sponsor all around the ground at the minute still?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, what?
Can we have 2 kit sponsors?
There's something in that one. I wouldn't be surprised to see that, because on Funny 88 are we in some
yes.
up, isn't it? So
everyone when it comes to gambling, you're not allowed gambling on the front of your shirt, so that they have to be gone.
So I think it'll be them.
Yeah, I wish you could have two kit sponsors, Robbie, but you can't. You can only have one, I'm afraid. As in the makers, but you can have loads of different badges on. Like, because we've got who was that? Is it Noon on the sleeve? You can have sponsors like that, but as it comes to a kit maker, you're only allowed one. Sevilla had a shirt with no badge on the other week, so actually no badge on their kit.
What is that?
It must have been Castore as well, yeah. Adidas were at the home game not too long ago. Peter Silverson's good relationships with them, exactly. How about St James's Park with the free Adidas stripes and a magpie on top of the stadium named PR Gold right there? That does sound good, Blade, to be fair.
Can somebody confirm this? Isn't Jamie Rubin involved in Castore?
I thought it was Mike Ashley, to be honest with you.
I've heard Jamie Rubin's name mentioned, but I could be completely wrong here.
Well, I hope he realises the shit and wants to get rid of them as well.
But Jamie Rubin's involved in it at some point,
right?
And maybe we can get out of it.
Shearer didn't like the feel of Adidas tops. It's interesting. He enjoyed the adverts and getting paid for them.
No,
I would love Adidas just to get all those old tops back, because everyone would buy them straight away, especially the 95-96 season one. Or was it 96-97?
95, 96, I think.
Yeah, 95-96 season. That was just awesome kit. Saved up all my paper money to get one. Nike is notorious for playing for store floor space. They also outbid Adidas for the rights in NBA, NFL, and M. I didn't know that either. There we go. Evening, Baz, Gary. Evening, everyone. Evening, Andrew. So that's all about the kit makers. I mean, personally, I would like Adidas back. Gary, you would prefer Adidas, but as long as it's Adidas or Nike, we're not really that bothered. As long as they bring in the big bucks.
If it came out tomorrow that Nike was going to be the new shirt, so I'd be absolutely delighted.
I just can't see Fun 88 lasting another season with obviously gambling. Saudi Arabia doesn't really fit into their mould. They can't have Fun 88 on the shirts abroad, can they? So in their country,
Northern Rock was like the type of company as well that would like take a step back and just say, "Yeah, we'll."
Oh, they get bought out.
I think they'll quite easily take the money. Exactly. I think they would just get bought, but it wouldn't. I don't think it would cost, but because the contract's bloody shit, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Right, next little talking point very quickly. Fewest defeats in the whole Premier League, Newcastle United. Just the one. Absolutely tremendous season so far. I know we've won 10, drawn 10. If we could have turned a few of them into wins, can you imagine if we just turned some of them, like 4 of those draws into 4 wins, where we would be? It would be absolutely unbelievable, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but we're 2 players away from turning them into wins. That's how close we're.
Yeah, I agree.
And likes of a Shearer or a Madison, like not Shearer now, obviously, but likes of that type.
Shearer back in the day.
Shearer back in the day, and Madison were that type of player. From. People might think I'm nuts here, but I only think we're 2 or 3 away from going for the title. I really do with this team.
I think I just think the backup players would be the problem.
Yeah, but it's like if you get 2 or 3 players right and add them to that squad, and I'm talking about quality. Just say, I'll use an example: Osimhen, Madison, that type. That team will challenge for the title next season. That is my personal opinion. With the players
that was a good one. Essex.
I'm not saying we're going to win it, but say we'll challenge.
Yeah, true. Thank you so much for the super sticker, mate. Anything means a lot. If everyone donated 50p tonight, it would be absolutely amazing. It's not a lot of money, but it is a lot of money with the situation the world's in. I couldn't believe it. I went to the cheap shop to buy some chocolate for the kids for after tea.
Yeah.
Right. How much do you think these days a bag of we call them Big Daddy buttons in my house, but the giant milk buttons?
£1.40 now.
£1.35. Used to be £1. 2 months ago.
Yeah, it used to be.
Terry's chocolate orange used to be £1, £1.50. I was like, what the fudge is going on? It's unbelievable.
I went to get just a pack of crisps the other day at work, and the crisps I normally get, the big bag things.
Yeah.
They used to be £1. They're now up to 1.30.
Yeah. Everything's gone 25p and higher up, just like that.
Yeah.
Hey, does my head in. Can you not remember Nelly telling us they have funny on the shirts and stuff? No, I can't, because I didn't think they'd be allowed to have that with.
I remember Nelly saying that.
The Asics kit was mint, the away one with the little white brushes on. That was my very first top.
My first top was the star, blue star on the front.
Yes.
Andy Cole season.
Yeah.
That was my first one.
Oh, that was a good top as well, to be fair.
That was mint on me, and that was my favourite away top of all time. It still is. The blue.
No, the blue one's definitely my favourite of all time.
I think it was McEwen's lager on the front or something, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah. I wore the hell out of it.
but you know the only problem with it? It clicked to fuck. Honestly, it was a shit design. Honestly.
You should go to the pound shop. You know how much chocolate orange is? £1. £1.50. I know a pound shop is not even a pound shop anymore, is it? To be honest with you,
no, it's not. It's a £1.50 shop now.
Yeah, exactly. Quick shout out to all the members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel in the way that you do. Level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. It really, really does help. You've no idea. Funny, I've been paid off there, not on the tops next season. There you go. Brilliant. Right. Someone asked me some good questions on Twitter, and I saw this. Rank them 1 to 3. And I said, well, Alan Shearer's obviously top. Wayne Rooney second, Harry Kane third. They all offer something different. But if you give Alan Shearer the 2 to 3 years he missed through injury and give him the goals he scored before the Premier League was the Premier League, nobody's catching him. And that's why Alan Shearer is the greatest striker of all time. Gary, how would you rank those 3?
Exactly the same as you
were.
Yeah. Harry Kane is a quality striker. And the way they were talking last night, not one of them mentioned Shearer's injuries for 2 years. I'll tell you what else they didn't mention either. At times, Shearer played in a shit side.
Yeah, exactly. I've said that. That's exactly one of the things I said.
Harry Kane never has played in a shit Tottenham side.
Exactly. And Alan Shearer played when defenders were defenders.
Yes. Harry Kane plays against average defenders these days. Shearer played against Desai, Keown, Tony Adams,
Stam, Rio Ferdinand,
Vidic, Ferdinand. Endless list of quality.
John Terry.
Harry Kane is a quality player, but he is not Alan Shearer. I'm sorry.
No, definitely not.
No.
Starbar's 80p now. Freddo's were 10p. They're 85p now. Crazy. Chomps used to be 10p as well. They've got no idea what chomps are these days, but I bet you they're about 50p. I remember when you used to get a bag of sweets for £1 and it was a bag of sweets.
Oh, no. Have you seen them little pots of Pringles? No, the tiny ones. They're a £1.
What?
It's ridiculous.
Jesus. Take trophies out of it. Just take striker, scoring goals, how he scores his goals, how he plays his football. That's what they were talking about. Because Shearer's only won 1 trophy. So you can't throw trophies into it in my eyes. But there you go. Curly Whirly. I do love a Curly Whirly. Not so keen on chomps. I don't mind a chomp. £1.25. What the fuck? See, Paper Talk Piff will pay to get Diaby in the summer. There's the next level. We've been saying that for ages, haven't we? For some giant buttons. Thank you, Phil. I really appreciate that, mate. The kids will be happy. Leslie thought you were sleeping. Gordon will have some trophies than Kane. Possibly. Remember 10p look? Yes, 10p looky back. Over £1 now. Jesus. Honestly, we're starting a conversation here, haven't we? Right. So the other question I got asked, which I think was a great question, and I want everyone in the chat to get involved with this question as well. Shearer, Kane, Rebecca Vardy will never vote for that moon-faced Rooney. Sounds good. Right. Question, guys, for all you in the chat and for you, Gary. I've already answered this. So you've got Alan Shearer, Rooney, and Kane. Me and this other guy on Twitter agreed that Alan Shearer is the greatest Premier League striker of all time and deserves to be number one. However, who would you have him partner with, Kane or Rooney, and why?
Rooney.
I said the same thing.
Shearer and Kane are too similar. Rooney.
See, the way Kane comes deep, that would work as well. But
when Shearer got his injuries, and
in their prime,
in his games. In the prime.
In the prime, that was the sorry, I missed that. That was the question.
Shearer and Rooney would absolutely destroy defender. And that's nothing against Harry Kane. Harry Kane would, but I just think Shearer and Rooney would work better. Like him.
£16 for fish and chips. Fuck that for a barrel of laughs.
Yeah.
I can't stand fish and chips, to be honest with you. What about Heskey? Come on, guys, in the chat. Who would you? Who would you? Why can't they find anything wrong with me? I keep coughing. There you go. Who would you have partnering Alan Shearer? Would it be Rooney or would it be Harry Kane? In their prime, all of them in their prime. I don't think Rice will be going to Chelsea now or Maddison. Steve Bruce odds on to be the next Chelsea manager.
I mean, when you think of what Wayne Rooney was doing from the age of 16 to his prime was, I mean, I remember his debut and scoring a hat trick
against Southampton. Yeah, tore them apart, didn't he? And he had was he facing Adams and
his debut for Man United, isn't it?
Oh, Rooney, sorry.
Rooney's
debut.
Talking
about Shearer. Yeah.
No.
His debut not against. His first goal was against Arsenal, wasn't it?
Yeah, for Everton. Where you hit that.
And the one that ruined their unbeaten record or something like that.
And I think, you know what it is? I think Harry Kane went on loan early in his career to a lower league side. I can't remember who it was, but look, Harry Kane's a quality striker and he might go on to beat Shearer's record, but Shearer missed 2 frigging years. And I'll tell you what, if Shearer had them 2 years, Kane would never have got anywhere.
Nah, he'd be nowhere close to them. The question was, Ryan, it's the English strikers. That was, obviously, there was no foreign strikers in the question in this one.
And for that question, if I had to pick a perfect partner, I would pick
Aguero.
No, Henry.
Oh, Henry, yeah. I mean, I thought of little and large with Aguero potentially, but Henry was fantastic as well.
Henry was probably the best foreign player I've seen in the league. He was just unbelievable.
Would you sign Harry Kane? I would definitely sign Harry Kane if we had the option to sign him. I know a lot of people will probably complain about that, but I would definitely take him.
Oh, I would take him tomorrow. If we had Harry Kane on our side now, you can change 5 of them draws.
Yeah. Didn't take long for someone to bring that up, did it? Talk about rip off Cisco for 10 million. All I can say that your Baz is better on YouTube than him. I actually played at St James's Park once, and it's on YouTube. And I got man of the match. I'll have you know. I did, yeah. It was one of those times where you could go to St James's Park and play. It cost me £94 per person to play, and we played 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And I had to play at centre back, and I was the best player on the pitch for our team. And you weren't allowed. Oh, it was years ago. It might not be on YouTube anymore, to be fair, but it was years ago.
Back in those days.
Yeah, exactly. But I remember they said you weren't allowed to warm up inside the box. So I looked around, there was no one watching, and I ran into the box at the Gallagher end, put the ball on the penalty spot, and smashed one in the top corner. No goalkeeper, but I just wanted to do it. And it was mint. I was like, yes. Why can't we mention Chris Wood in his prime to partner Big Al? I love it. Rooney for everything Gary said. I definitely Rooney. Didn't Brian Clough have an amazing goal record before career-ending injury? He did. He was a cracking player, wasn't he? Rooney against Ferencváros in the Champions League. Just Rooney's bicycle kick against Man City, to be fair. Huey Gallagher.
Rooney was quality. I mean, even at 16, he was quality.
Right, if you could pick one current Premier League player to play up top and link with Prime Shearer, who are you picking? Current player. It's got to be Haaland, hasn't it?
Does it have to be a striker? Like, we're going to be like it.
I don't know, it just says current Premier League player, so it doesn't say striker or anything. It could just be a midfielder, I suppose. But I'm going Haaland. I think Haaland and Shearer would be. I think a lot of it would be like with Shearer and Ferdinand again.
You know what it is? Shearer could play anywhere with anybody, right? In his prime. But can you imagine Shearer in his prime with somebody like Rashford?
Yes, that would work well, to be fair. And he's on fire at the moment.
Because when Bellamy and Shearer were together, as much as they couldn't stand each other, nobody can deny the partnership was superb. But I mean, probably got to pick Haaland, haven't you? But I'd be tempted with a Rashford, somebody like that. I would have said Salah a couple of years ago, but Salah's just right off it at the minute. But
Odegaard would be a good player for Shearer, slipping things through. If Shearer was in his prime and he had his pace again, definitely. Shearer and Ferdinand were very alike, and it still worked. So I don't agree with the Shearer and Haaland are too alike. Shearer and Ferdinand were exactly the same, and look how many goals they scored. Terrorized defenders. Eventually, there you go, Kevin De Bruyne. Not a bad player to have.
Somebody did tell me, well, somebody mentioned it to me years ago, he says, if you had to pick one player who you would have put Alan Shearer in his prime with, any part of the pitch. I remember at the time I picked Beckham.
Yeah.
But Shearer was superb with his head. And Beckham was the best at putting pinpoint crosses on the player.
Yeah.
And
what he did for Van Nistelrooy
the season to Shearer's goal record if Beckham had been in the side.
Yeah, I agree with that. Right. Oh, that's it. The Kusinatsu was the last one. Apparently some people are saying that's fake. I really hope it's not, because that's a horrible thing to put out there if it's fake. I mean, it's from a blue tick account as well, so you would hope it wasn't fake. But there you are. Guys, don't forget. Sorry, Paul, what did you say?
I said that's shocking if it's fake, man.
Yeah, of course it is. Shearer and Wilson could work, to be fair. Please hit the subscribe button. Please consider becoming a member. Don't forget, Newcastle Benfield play on Saturday, 3:00 kickoff. Baz sent me, gets you £1 off the ticket prices. And then you can go and watch the match in the bar. The Newcastle game kicks off at 5:30, so you get to see 2 football matches back to back. If anyone would like any of this stuff, please contact us via the email address below or contact Liam direct. If anyone would like a badge, they're back in stock, 15 of them. Contact me via Twitter. £30 gets you that and delivery. They're amazing crests, so please consider it. And a massive shout out to all our members who really help to keep this channel going. Like I say, the running costs and all that sort of stuff. It's absolutely amazing. Barry, you on TikTok? Give you a shout out this morning. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it, mate. Any EPL player for Shearer Bergkamp? Any player ever? Still going to be Henry, isn't it?
Bergkamp is a good show.
Bergkamp is a massive shout. I mean, Zola as well. To be honest with you, Peter Beardsley for me.
Yeah.
If we're going to go like that, but Aguero, yeah, Paul, I hope you're feeling better. I saw your tweet that you weren't feeling too great, so I hope you're feeling a lot better, mate. Hope you rescue as many possible thoughts with the families. Exactly. I did. The whole squad was in that hotel apparently when it went down. So getting ready for the Loonies coming to Bournemouth Saturday. I'll be waiting in the Queen's Head for you all. Nice. Keegan, never a Premier League player though. If Manchester City are relegated, get De Bruyne. They're not going to get relegated. I think relegation is for like fraud and match fixing and stuff like that, where Man City don't really have that, do they?
Well, if they do get relegated, I think by the time that happens, he might not even be there.
Nah, I doubt it. Sheringham's a good shout. Sheringham was class. So clever.
Worked for England, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, yeah. Obviously, that Holland game, the 4-1 in Euro 96. Absolutely agree with that. Right, our time is up because I do need to go to the toilet. Don't forget, become a member and have a chance of winning this. The draw will be live. It's already in YouTube. I can't remember what the date is, but it's soon. So become a member beforehand and you'll be in with a shout of winning the Warren Barton signed shirt. We'll be on PDP's channel tomorrow for the Premier League review. And then Wednesday night, hopefully we've got Gallagher Girls if there's enough of them about. And then on Thursday, we'll be doing a look ahead to the game. So thank you all for tuning in as always. I hope we haven't man flu. Oh, not good. Shearer and Ibrahimovic, I would love that. I think not being honest with accounts is classed as fraud. I think. Oh, yeah, I suppose. Night, guys. So, yeah, thanks very much for tuning in, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Take care.